What's going on, guys? It's Hayden, and I'm bringing you the Week 4 recap for the Aqua division in the ISO for our Gen 6 Throwback. This is a big week as we have now reached the halfway point for our season. We have also a pretty big standings update as you see where teams lie going into the back half of the season. And we have 3 really good games for you this week, so let's go ahead and jump into this first one. Starting off our Week 4 recap, we have 2 heavy hitters in the ISL, with the Wi-Fi Worry Seeds taking on the Dallas Victory Stars. For the Worry Seeds, you have Assault Vest Deontay, Mega Scizor, Yachty Berry Thunderous, Cobra Berry Sigalith, Life Orb Nidoking, and Life Orb Houndoom. While on the Victory Stars side, we have Weakness Policy Aegislash, Choice Specs Hydreigon, Assault Vest Samurott, Shuka Berry Nidoqueen, Life Orb Reuniclus, and Leftovers Torkoal. This is one of the best battles so far this season, so I can't wait to share it with you guys, and let's get into it. Back-to-back weeks, the Dallas Victory Stars find themselves in the main battle recap for these videos, and this time he pulls out the 1-0 victory over the Wi-Fi Worry Seeds. Aegislash was able to clutch it up at the very end after Torkoal brought Thunderous in range for the Shadow Sneaks. And to sum it up, Aegislash and Samurott both picked up 2 kills apiece, with Hydreigon and Reuniclus picking up 1 apiece. Then Thunderous for the Worry Seeds picked up 2 kills, and Sigalith, Nidoking, and Houndoom picked up 1 apiece. Moving on to our second battle of the week, we have the OKC Thunderous taking on the Portland Lechonks. For the Thunderous, you have Choice Scarf Crobat, Leftovers Mamoswine, Rocky Helmet Audino, Expert Belt Rotom Mow, Leftovers Mew, and Life Orb Zoroark. And then the Lechonks are bringing Shaman Sky, Klefki, Garchomp, Megalopunny, Tentacruel, and Dusclops. like that, the OKC Thunderous pull out the 2-0 victory over the Portland Lechonks. Dusclops did its best to bring the game back at the very end, but Crobat taking the momentum by taking out both Megalopunny and Shaman Sky to open the game was just too much for the Lechonks to overcome in the end. As for the kills this week, for the OKC Thunderous, Crobat picked up 2 kills, while Mamoswine, Audino, Rotom-Mow, and Zoroark picked up 1 apiece. Then for the Portland Lechonks, both Garchomp and Dusclops picked up 2 kills apiece. And that brings us to our third and final showcase battle of the week between the Detroit Litleos and the Lafayette Litwicks. It does seem like the Litleos are in every single featured battle so far this season, or at least once per video. So just like their other ones, it should be a great battle to watch. As for the Mons, the Litleos brought Talonflame, Rotom Wash, Donphan, Mawile, Haxorus, and Amoonguss, while the Litwicks brought Mega Sableye, Girder, Latias, Crocodile, Kabutops, and Magnezone. With that, the Lafayette Litwicks take the 3-0 victory over the Detroit Litleos. It was a very interesting battle as the Litleos Amoonguss was battling, basically trying to get rid of the freeze for the first half of the whole battle, and then ended up being the last mon standing for the Litleos, and that freeze just proved to be too much to overcome as the Litwicks do take home the victory. For the Litwicks, Latias picks up 3 kills, Girder picks up 2 kills, and Crocodile picks up the other kill. while for the Litleos, Amoongus, even while being frozen for half the battle, picked up all 3 kills for the Litleos. And our next battle has my Chicago White Squawks picking up the 5-0 victory over the Wales Warlords. I brought Leftover Slanderous Therian, Expert Belt Starmie, Choice Scarf Florges, Life Orb Porygon 2, Assault Vest Conkeldurr, and Sticky Barb Trick Rotom Frost. And the Whale Warlords brought Life Orb Greninja, Mega Garchomp, Leftovers Celebi, Leftovers Heatran, Leftovers Zapdos, and Choice Band Dusknoir. The differential is blown out a little bit because I also got a freeze from my Conkeldurr onto the Celebi that changed basically the whole flow of the battle. I was going to switch out, but because of the freeze, I just took out the Celebi instead, and that led to Porygon 2 being able to freely switch in and set up later on. And let's get over to the kills for this week. As for my White Squawks, Porygon 2 picked up the 3 kills to finish out the battle. Conkeldurr picked up 2. Then Rotom Frost picked up 1 off of tricking Sticky Barb onto Heatran. And then for the Warlords, Heatran picked up the lone kill as it took out Rotom Frost. And moving on to our 5th battle of the week, we have the Utah Wees taking home the 5-0 victory over the Parasect Gengar. The Wees brought Rocky Helmet Chestnut, Leftovers Umbreon, Focus Sash Galvantula, Mega Mawile, Eviolite Gligar, and Assault Vest Blastoise, while PSG brought Leftovers Excadrill, Mega Tyranitar, Choice Specs Gengar, Leftovers Fortress, Leftovers Slowbro, and Leftovers Delphox. This game was heavily influenced by Chestnut and its ability to hit crits against key players, which I think PSG had Mega Tyranitar died to a crit Drain Punch. Not sure how much that mattered. But then Slowbro died to a crit Woodhammer, which I believe it would have lived. And then Delphox died to a crit Scald after setting up to a +2 Calm Mind against Blastoise. And all that led to the 5-0 Utah Wees victory. As for the Wees, Chestnut picked up 4 kills and Blastoise picked up the other 2. And then for PSG, Excadrill picked up the lone kill. Moving on to our last battle of the week, we have another forfeit in the Aqua division as the Boston Blades take home the forfeit win over the Ecruteak City Boomers this week. I did forget to put in this recap, but the Boston Blades did make up their battle from last week against the OKC Thunderous and were able to take home a 4-0 victory. But as for now, just like the Boston Blades battle last week, this is a temporary forfeit loss just so the standings are accurate, or at least equal games played for each coach. But this game can be made up all the way up until the playoffs begin. And speaking of playoffs, here are the standings halfway through the season, as my Chicago White Squawks are now 4-0 plus 15. This is my best start ever to a season in the ISL, and hopefully we continue on and get that bye week headed into the playoffs, because that's going to be huge with the talent in this coaching pool this season. Seeded 2 through 4 are all 3-1 and all very close to each other. You have the Boston Blades at +7, Dallas Victory Stars at +5, and the Utah Wees at +4. Then 5 through 7, all at 2-2. And even our 8th seed is also 2-2, all within two differential of each other. as the Whale Warlords are at +3, along with the Wi-Fi Worry Seeds also at +3, and our current 7th seed with a 1 differential lead over the team that beat them this week, the Detroit Litleos, are at 2-2 +2. As I said, our first team out is the 8th seed Lafayette Litwicks at 2-2 +1. Then at 9, 10, and 11, all real close and differential, all at 1-3. In 9th seed, we have the Paris St. Gengar at 1-3 -7. Then we have the OKC Thunderous at 1-3 -8. And then finally the Ecruteak City Boomers at 1-3 -10. And then rounding out, we have the Portland Lechonks at 0-4 -15. Moving on to awards, we have our Arceus Award. And it's still, even though the Mon didn't get a kill this week, Mega Sizzler of the Wi-Fi Worry Seeds is still on top at 9-2. And Excadrill of the Paris St. Gengar has upended my Mega Houndoom for 2nd place and is currently at 7-3. Our Lugia Award has a new leader as the Frozen Amoonguss of the Detroit Litleos takes top spot halfway through the season with 23 hits taken. And our runner-up was our leader last week, Volcarona of the Lafayette Litwicks, coming in at 20 hits taken this season. And now for our Mew Award, or our Best Support Mon, we have Fortress of the Paris St. Gengar holding on to the top spot with 12. And then holding on to the 2nd spot, we have Gliscor of the Ecruteak City Boomers with 10. And finally, we have our Cosmog Award, or Best Low Tier Mon. And my Mega Houndoom of the Chicago White Squawks is still the leader at 6-0. So even though we got bumped off the MVP leaderboard, we are still here repping the Cosmog Award. And still in 2nd place, we do have the Quagonal of the Detroit Litleos at 4-0. And with that, that brings us to the end of our Week 4 recap, as half of our season has come to a close and we should have an exciting back half to look forward to. We will also be looking forward to the announcement of the ISL Season 6 teams, which will consist of 4 attackers and 2 defenders, basically 2 Mons on the defensive MVP list. And if there's anything else you guys like to see, just put it down in the comments below and I'll make sure to put it in the next episode. But as for this, I'm going to go ahead and close it here. And as for always, thanks for watching.